Hello and welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to get right into the weekly love reading for the sign of Leo. All right, my Leos, you're up next. And this is going to be for January 5th to the 11th. And if you're new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. We're going to get right into pulling out your romance angel messages. Now, the weekly is a general reading. However, I pull angel messages just to see the nature of your closer sort of relationships, right? And we also pull animal spirits out for you just to see what extra energies you may be working with this week. So, Leos. I love Leos. I have a moon in Leo myself. I'm a Sagittarius, but I definitely resonate with Leo energy. So let's just see what the romance angels have for you this week. Calling in your soulmate. Keep an open mind. And we have attraction. Nice. Oh, it's nice energy, right? All right, so I'll move these up just a little bit. I know I'm going to need more room. All right, let's go ahead and get into your animal spirits for the week. Now, animal spirits can be energies that are becoming available to you. They can represent people or personality types, right? Individuals you may be dealing with. They can also sometimes indicate a certain stage or path that you're about to enter into in your life. So let's just see, my lovely Leos, what animal spirits you may be walking with this week. Straight out, we have the beaver, earth energy, water energy. The beaver is interesting. It is a very earthly creature, but it is indeed associated with water, and I will explain why in a minute. We have spider energy, which is indeed earth energy. And we have the unicorn, which is associated with the alchemical symbol for ether. Wow. All right, so let's get right into the beaver. Beaver energy. Yes, the beaver is actually associated with water, even though it isn't really a creature that comes from the water. It's definitely an earthly creature, but it makes its home in the water. And so the beaver is really associated with that really strong, hard-working energy of an animal spirit that works towards creating a stable emotional environment, right, for itself and its family. Beavers make their homes in dams that they create in rivers, right? And what do dams do? They kind of stem the river, right? They kind of block the river a little bit, preventing it from overflowing. And if you look at that as a metaphor for the energy that the beaver brings, it is it provides a stable home. It provides a stable environment where emotions are, or emotional health is encouraged, right? For itself, for its children, its family, the people that it loves. Beaver is extremely hardworking. And in this way, a lot of times the beaver can be associated with a parent or a guardian or someone in your life who really works hard in a very practical way, in a very earthy way, to provide that kind of support and stability. Now, the spider is indeed an earth elemental animal spirit, and the spider is associated with Dharma. Right? The idea of everything in our lives, all the steps we take, all the decisions we make, being in line with our moral center or our spiritual center or code, right? And so because the spider follows this strictly, its actions and its movements create a pattern, right? Because everything that it does is aligned with its sort of, like I said, with its spiritual sort of center. And so the spider also provides a very sort of strong support. Spider web's extremely strong support spiritually and financially, right? Interestingly enough, in a way that supports sort of the financial needs that we have, as well as encouraging a spiritual element to everything that we do, even if it is in the area of our careers or our business. Now, the unicorn is associated with the alchemical symbol for ether at the top of the card, and the unicorn is associated with the sixth chakra, which is the third eye. And we notice automatically when we see the unicorn's horn sort of protruding from that area of its face, from where the third eye resides. And the unicorn is all about opening that area, that chakra up, opening up our acceptance, or rather our receptivity to magic, right? To things that are unseen, to a different side of life. If you want magic in your life, then you also have to be open to it. You have to be receptive to it. You have to begin with a little bit of faith, you know? And so in a lot of ways, the unicorn also is a representative of the faith we have in things that are magical, things that are otherworldly, right? Spirits, energies, you know, magic, what we consider to be magic in this world. It's very, very strong, very beautiful animal spirit. So, Leo, let's get right into your 4 spreads for the week. I'm going to pull out four 3-card spreads. Each are different from each other. They're not intended to necessarily be for the same Leo. And so you may only resonate with one of these forecasts or a portion of one of these forecasts. It really is up to you if it applies to your situation. And if you don't resonate with anything, that's fine. Just take what applies to you. And if it doesn't, let it go. It's not for you, right? All right, my lovelies. Let's get right into it. Show me what's going on for Leo, January 5th to the 11th. I still have to, your love reading for January, I believe, yes, your love reading is up for January, and your 2020 outlook, your 2020 love outlook. All of that is in the description, okay? So don't forget to check out the description for this video to see the other videos for your sign. All right. 4 of Cups, Death, Judgment. All right. Some of you are coming in this week with a 4 of Cups energy, right? And it's a decision that you don't want to receive this cup of love, or you're not willing to accept it. Somebody's trying to offer you this cup. Now, 4 of Cups is an interesting card because it really can be interpreted in a lot of different ways depending on its position. But this is the energy you're coming into the week with. So it's a real feeling of you wanting to sort of maintain your stability and not accept anything or accept a cup of love from anyone who's coming into you where you're really not sure what it all means, right? There's already 3 cups there, you know, and it's this feeling of sort of like, I've been there, done that. Your cup looks very much like these other 3 cups. What are you offering me, you know? I'm not really willing to accept it until I know what comes with it. I've already established a certain amount of stability in my life, 4 being the number for stability, right? And I don't want any new sort of offers of love or assistance to come in and to destabilize me, right? Especially when I don't know what I am to expect from this cup, right? It's empty. It looks very much like the other 3 cups that this figure has seen before. And so it's kind of, this person has kind of learned their lesson to a certain degree, right? And said, look, show and prove to me, right? 4 of Cups is very much my show and prove card. Show me, you know, do something. Offer me something besides just words or, you know, platitudes, or, you know, how people come in. Oftentimes people, nowadays, we a lot of us tend to accept a cup of love very quickly without actually discerning if the person who's handing it to you, what they're really offering you, you know. Are they offering you love that brings also honesty, that brings faithfulness, that brings understanding? Or are they just saying what they think you need to hear so that you will let them into your life? And so you're kind of being very sort of standoffish with people and saying, look, I'm all right. You know, I don't need this, right? And so you come into the week with this energy. It could be that somebody is or has been sort of attempting to sort of get closer, right? And you're putting those walls up. Now, death is what you meet, and this is the energy that meets you this week, and it's a real feeling of transformation, a real feeling of change, right? Death is transformation in all levels, and it is really unstoppable or unavoidable. Death is not, in the tarot, we don't look at death, the death card, as a physical harm or a physical death, but it is just as strong of an energy nonetheless, and it's just as sort of unstoppable. There's nothing that you can do really to stop this transformation, right? And oftentimes it feels like it's happening out of your hands, but of course it is necessary, right? And transformation is always necessary. Change is always necessary, but death comes in and it can transform sort of our environment, our emotions, our feelings, and everything from the old, right, to a new start, right, with all of the new potential. And so you're coming into this week with a real change happening in your life, and you round off the week with judgment. And I'm going to say for some of you, judgment is all about reconciliation. It can be about sort of letting go of hypercriticism, being overcritical of others, being overcritical of yourself. Judgment comes in when we begin to have the type of life experiences that prove to us that things aren't always the way we see them from our perspective. You know, an example is that when we're younger, you know, all of us are kind of like that. When we're younger, we're very idealistic, right? You know, we have a real sort of idea of how the world should be, you know, or we think how the world should be, but that's because we don't have much experience yet, you know. And until you're in that position or in that experience, you know, you may be hypercritical, you know, you may judge others, you know. An example could be when you're younger, you may see someone who has, you know, is with someone else and they fall in love with a different person, right? You may feel as you may be feeling to yourself, well, this is so wrong and how dare they, and they should be punished, until that happens to you, right? Until you grow up, you get older, you have some experiences, and maybe it happens to you. Maybe you're involved in a relationship one day and you can't help it. You just fall in love with somebody else. What do you do, right? Now, I'm not talking about cheating, okay? I'm talking about natural things that happen to us through our experiences in life that begin to sort of show us empathy and compassion and teaches us how to look at any given sort of event or situation from more than just your own narrow viewpoint. This is what leads to empathy, and this is what leads to compassion. And this event that's coming in is very much having this effect on you, and it could very well be that this individual who's offering this cup of love to you, you may find by the end of the week, because of the events of this week, that you may not feel as critical about this towards the end of the week with this feeling of judgment or lessening of judgment rather than you did to begin with. Sun, Fool, Star. Wow. All right, 3 major arcana. Beautiful, very, very significant. Generally, when we have a majority of major arcana, it can indicate that events are kind of happening through no sort of action of our own. This is sort of more faded energies are around us, are sort of conspiring to make these events happen to a certain degree. Now the sun comes in for you. You're radiating with the sun at the beginning of the week, which is high level of confidence, being the center of attention, right? But the sun also brings with it clarity, and it's a clarity of purpose, a clarity of who we are and how our life, how we fit into this life, right? The sun also can bring with it the energy that we need to grow, the energy that we need to sort of progress in a lot of ways, right? We need the sun to live. We need the sun to grow our animal and fauna, you know, flora and fauna, right? Doesn't grow without the energy of the sun. And so this is something we're resonating with this week. You're feeling very, very good. You're feeling like life is favoring you this week. Life has you kind of in the spotlight. You come up against full energy, and it's a feeling definitely of beginning a whole new chapter. It's a release, Leo. It's a real release. It's a clarity of mind and purpose, and a real sort of feeling and understanding that this is the beginning of the rest of your life. And you round off the week with star energy because it's the beginning of the rest of your life, but also the beginning of achieving and manifesting your ultimate wish for your life. You know what I mean? It's almost this feeling like, if you've always wanted to have a certain career, or you've always wanted to live perhaps a certain lifestyle, right? And then suddenly you find yourself beginning the path towards that. Your dreams are literally coming true. And it's interesting that this would be mostly major arcana because this feels extremely fated. And it also feels very much like a result of a little bit of unicorn energy. For some of you, maybe you kept an open mind. Here we begin to see how do these animal spirits romance messages come in. You kept an open mind, perhaps, and perhaps you also resonate with unicorn energy in the sense that you began to believe in the magic of life, the ability for wonderful things to happen for you to get your wish, right? Star energy. Star energy is all about also constantly tending to the manifestations of your wishes, not just wishing for this fairy tale outcome or whatever this dream is that you have or this desire you have for your life. Not just sitting around and hoping that the universe brings it to you, but constantly fertilizing the ground, constantly pouring your emotions and energy into what you do on a day-to-day basis to make that happen. Also spider energy, as well as beaver, in the sense that you've worked very hard towards this, but this week it finally begins. 5 of Wands, 3 of Cups, 5 of Pentacles. We have 2 5s with a 3 in the middle. 5 is the number for power struggle. 3 is the number for bonding and loyalty and patience, virtue. 5 of Wands, some of you are coming in this week and you're having a real power struggle with someone. There's a huge level of competitiveness with you, someone else, or a group of other people. And it's a real battle, right? It's been a real battle. However, you're met with the 3 of Cups energy, and 3 of Cups is a sense of bonding and loyalty. Now, this is quite interesting. This bonding and loyalty, I can't, this is a feeling, this could very well be that, because this is a feeling of celebration. This is a positive energy, the 3 of Cups. And so initially I could say that, this bonding is happening amongst the people that you're battling with, resulting in a split between you and them, in the sense that they're coming together against you. But because 3 of Cups is such a positive energy, I want to say that the 3 of Cups is a feeling that I have that you are bonding with like-minded individuals. Someone in your life is sort of coming together with you, right? Your friends. It may be only a few of them, though, right? Because sometimes you have to say, if you can count the true friends you have in your life on one hand, you'll be lucky. You know what I mean? And so this actually feels to me much more like you've been going through this power dynamic, and yet this week you're celebrating with friends, maybe just a couple of friends that are true friends, tried and true friends. They're supporting you, they're by your side. However, you do round a week off with another power struggle. Now, this power struggle is the type, 5 of Pentacles is the type that results in alienation, a divide, a split in the group, and you're the one who's basically turned out in the street, as it were. You're the one who's sort of expelled from the group, ostracized, right? And you pay a financial price for it, right? Now, this 3 of Cups is interesting that this will come in this week. It could very well be that this is happening as a result of the 3 of Cups, right? It could be a feeling that you've been, competing with someone here. And because because of this positivity that's coming into your life, that's kind of supporting you, that you're bonding with, that you're drawing strength from. It could be that it has exacerbated this situation. It has made the person or group of people that you're battling against even more enraged, even more sort of, willing to fight you, right? And so what happens, you no longer sort of are even within the group fighting anymore. There's a complete split and a complete divide. It completely falls apart, because by the time you get to Five of Pentacles, it's not a power struggle anymore. It's not there. You have no connection with them. They kick you out, as it were, right, of the group. Right here, you're still part of a group. Although there's a lot of fighting and competitiveness going on, you're still sort of part of a group. This is more like an ousting. And definitely a feeling of you having to pay a financial price, perhaps having to sort of start all over again, pick yourself up from the ground again. You may have lost some money as a result of this sort of dynamic, right? Or certainly you've lost a certain area, position in your life that you may have to sort of work to regain. But the good thing about the Five of Pentacles is that it is always a case of sort of, it needed to happen. And had you stayed in this dynamic, you may not be paying the price financially, but at the same time, you would not have progressed much further than where you are at. Sometimes we have to have a major split. We have to sort of go right back down to the bottom, rock bottom, to build ourselves up and to have more opportunities, more options in our lives than we ever did before. King of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles, Page of Swords. Some of you are coming this week with this King of Pentacles attitude. You have absolutely sort of worked for your abundance. You are a high-powered sort of career person. You've achieved success. You definitely have a track record under your belt. King of Pentacles is oftentimes a benefactor or a mentor. It can also indicate sometimes an investor, or it can indicate your desire to, now that you've accomplished certain goals in your career and business, looking at other avenues to sort of tackle, to master in your field or in your business, right? And so you're coming into this week with this energy. You're met with a Seven of Pentacles, and you find yourself really reevaluating your goals henceforward. What are your goals now? For some of you, you've definitely already achieved a certain level of success. And so I guess Seven of Pentacles is very much a case of thinking, well, where do I go now? Is this really enough for me? Right? Am I happy to stay here at this level, or do I want to go down a different path? Do I want to raise the bar even higher? And so you're being very sort of contemplative about that. You round off the week with a Page of Swords, which is a real renewed sense of wanting something new. You have a real clear head, and you begin to start formulating ideas about a different path, perhaps something a little new, a little different than what you've done before. And so pages are always associated with earth. They're also always associated with overcoming fear in that suit. And so here with Page of Swords, not only are you interested in sort of a new path in your career, but you're also not willing to listen to any sort of doubts or negative energy that may be coming into you from those around you, right? Page of Swords sort of fights against negative self-doubt, insecurity, thinking you can't do that, that's impossible. Or people who come into your life and try to get you to believe that what you're wanting to do now is not possible. The Page of Swords fights against that very actively to maintain its clarity and its purpose, right? It's ideas, and your ideas are worth following, and don't let anybody stop you. And this is definitely how you round your week off. Last reading, Five of Cups, Chariot energy, and the Ace of Cups. Wow, this is beautiful. Leo, recently you had a heartbreak, didn't you? You had a power dynamic. Again, another five. So far, I think we've had all three fives show up. You've had a power struggle, and the Five of Cups is an internal power struggle we have when we're trying to decide between pessimism about our love life and clinging to the traumas and baggage and pain of a failed relationship, or choosing to lift our heads up and try again, no matter how fearful we may be. And so, yeah, you come into this week with this sort of struggle, right? And this week, something begins to happen to show you that life is changing for you, right? More unicorn energy, more magic coming in. And also sort of, this idea of sort of fate has its eyes on you in a lot of ways, and chariot energy is all about seeing a new path, looking forward to a new path in life and preparing to enter in on that path. If the chariot is not yet in motion, you can see it's at a standstill, right? It's not yet in motion, but the one thing we do know about the chariot is that it doesn't veer off its path once it's engaged, right? And so chariot energy is all about preparation, right? Making sure that you have everything that you need, preparing for this new stage in your life, right? And you're doing that. And this could be just really any events this week that are happening or people that you may be talking to, and they're preparing you for a new avenue of love in your life, right? Because we were talking about relationships, right? And part of that preparation could be healing from the old, discussing this with somebody, this feeling that you've had of pessimism in your love life. Whatever the case may be, you're doing the right things to sort of open up your heart and your life to a new avenue of love. And you round off the week with an Ace of Cups. Right away, you call it in, Keep an open mind, Calling in your soulmate, doing everything you need to. But it all begins with lifting your head and looking to the future. And just that belief alone. Again, unicorn energy. You have to have a little bit of faith to start off with, right? Got to give the universe something to work with, right? And just lifting your head and looking to the future, right, with intention is enough for the universe to sort of begin to develop and open up new opportunities for you. Very beautiful reading indeed. And some of you Leos by the end of the week will definitely have an option for a really deep, rich, new love coming in your life. A potential for a very sort of a deep connection here, it feels like to me. And certainly a connection that is going to be lasting for quite some time because it is tied up with a whole new path in your life, a whole new stage in your life. Could very well be a new lover that, that is in your life for the next 5, 10, or 15 years, right? Very nice indeed. All right, Leos, this is January 5th to the 11th for you, okay? If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and share. Leave me a comment if you like. And don't forget to go ahead into the description, check out your other readings. If you want to get a private reading, you can follow the links at the top of your screen. Tarot answers are 10-minute recorded answers to your questions. They're usually turned around the same day within 4 to 6 hours. But for right now, Leo, have a wonderful, wonderful week. And I shall see you next Saturday for your weekly. Bye-bye now.